Many books find their audiences organically. So hopefully you have a cover that matches the audience, right? And I talked about this in the class that I taught earlier today. The cover is not about you. It doesn't really even matter if you like the cover. Your audience has to like the cover. So certain things have to really resonate. Be very clear on what the genre is, because people say to me, how do I reach my readers? And I say, well, what's your genre? I don't really know. It's kind of a little bit of everything. You're not allowed to be a little bit of everything. Pick a particular genre. That's probably the biggest challenge that I think many readers do face, is finding that exact funnel, because and especially in particular, like in genre fiction, those readers are on particular sites. They're not all surfing in the same pond, so to speak, right? The same thing with nonfiction and memoir and poetry. I mean, you really have to define your audience first and foremost. You can do that also by profiling similar books in your market, right? Take a look at authors who write books similar to yours and kind of see where their audience seems to be. Maybe their audience is on Facebook, maybe they're, because the audiences are going to start somewhere, and then you're going to pull them into your website and hopefully to Amazon. Readers never show up as super fans. Readers just show up as readers, and you have to convert them. And I read a book that was called The Curve by Nicholas Lovell, and he talked about how you really only need 1,000 superfans to make a New York Times bestseller. But if you think of the definition of a superfan is crazy for everything you do, and they want to read everything you do, right? So the number 1,000 is really relatively small when you consider how many books are out there, right? So instead of thinking in huge numbers, start to think small, because you can do so much more with even 50 superfans than you can if you haven't really managed your fan base. So bringing your readers in, make sure that you have a newsletter or some other way to communicate with them. And I don't recommend using Facebook as much, because as much as social media is part of everybody's world now and should be part of everybody's campaign, it's harder to get visibility without spending a lot of money on ads. So make sure that you have a newsletter where you can communicate with your reader. And as you start to kind of build readers, invite them to be part of your superfan group, where they get exclusive things like access to books before they're released. They get to help you pick your cover, maybe even name a character. And they then become part of this exclusive tribe of people that you have. I know some authors who have superfan groups who will launch a book and within a week have 100 reviews from this group of superfans. You don't need a lot of these folks, again, because a lot of times the definition of a superfan is somebody who is also sharing it with their people and telling their friends. And 95% of book sales come from personal recommendations and word of mouth. So think about growing those superfans. I've actually talked to some authors who say, it's hard to manage a ton of people, like especially if you're trying to sort of ignite your fan base and say, all right, can you help me out here? I've got a book launch. I'd love you to go out and share this on your social media, that kind of a thing. Sometimes less is more, because if they have really active fan bases, if they have lots of friends, if they know a lot of people. I talked to one author and she actually ships boxes of just swag. So bookmarks and character trading cards and things like that she sends to her readers around the country, and they just pass them out. So your superfans can really help you to promote your book. And the sooner that you can start building your mailing list of readers and, ignite them and get them excited about being part of your exclusive group, the quicker you start to build your superfan base.